There's no false start, right? And of course Rico's like all up in there. No, just double checking, but Rico's all up in there. 9, 8, 7, 6. You're making me check now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Intro. Because I don't want to be tripped up. Mic's open.
Inside the lab, tonight a rare behind-the-scenes look at what it takes to get your COVID test results.
Election reform showdown, why Arizona's senators may be key players in the debate over a federal voting rights bill.
Taking thought.
We have a motto here in town, one town, one team.
Mic's open.
A new era. Tonight, Queen Creek Police hitting the streets for an historic day.
Uplifting Arizona, a unique event to help those experiencing homelessness be able to get back on their feet. But first, in all new at 6, the ABC 15 investigators creating change.
Tonight, we've learned Scottsdale Police is disciplining multiple officers in the wake of one of our investigations.
Yeah, we showed you the video, a random person smashing in a windshield on the streets. Police then falsely arresting Yesenia Garcia, accusing her of a hit and run and repeatedly calling her a liar.
ABC 15 investigator Dave Biscoving's reporting triggered an internal department investigation. And now as that wraps up, Dave is still pushing for public information on the case.
And taking package. Mic's down. Good.
Before we get back to the surveillance video showing Yesenia Garcia was completely innocent,
Camera 1, are you okay?
And before we show more about how officers treated her, here's what Scottsdale's police chief says about their internal investigation.
Katie is going to tag
we made some mistakes, plain and simple.
And then
I am
be
confident in the investigation's findings.
Steve will
and
go
that
to
our employees did not demonstrate malice or ill intent. I know that does not change how the events unfolded that evening or how Ms. Garcia was affected. And for that, she has my most sincere apologies. Now, if you missed our investigation, here's what happened. In May 2020, a random guy jumped on a car in downtown Scottsdale, stomped the windshield, and ran. It was Yesenia Garcia's car. When she and her then-boyfriend saw the damage, they flagged down some bicycle officers. What the couple didn't know, there was a hit and run 30 minutes earlier, about 0.3 miles away. So when cops saw the damage, case closed. They even reviewed surveillance video that showed her car didn't move for 2 hours, and a man stomped the glass. But the officers claimed it was, quote, inconclusive. So Yessie was arrested, stripped, blood drawn, and mugshot splashed on the internet.
Yeah, I just wanted them to believe me.
In a prepared statement, Scottsdale says multiple employees received discipline or counseling. One officer received a 40-hour suspension and another receiving a 20-hour suspension. In our report, we exposed officers repeatedly called Yesenia and her boyfriend liars.
Oh yeah, surprise, I forgot about that. Because the graphics were not fitting, so I was more worried about that.
Doesn't exist.
He's got a package right before then that you can practice.
And while she was detained at the scene, they denied letting her speak to an attorney.
Okay, well, can I get our lawyer? No.
In their prepared statement, even though Scottsdale admits they made mistakes, the department says officers still had enough probable cause to arrest her. As for Yesenia, she recently filed a federal lawsuit, and that case is ongoing. I'm investigator Dave Biscoving, ABC 15, Arizona.
A statement from Garcia's attorney calls the discipline, quote, mild reprimand for the officers involved, saying they'll continue to stand up and fight for the fair treatment of all civilians. As for Scottsdale, they haven't released any records related to their internal investigation. Dave requested a full copy and the names of the officers who were disciplined. The police department refuses to identify those officers, even though that information is public record. You can watch Dave's initial investigation into this case and other award-winning stories now on abc15.com/investigators.
Now to our other big story. Arizona lawmakers may be the wild card on getting a federal voting rights bill passed. You just heard on World News the president and vice president going in front of the nation, calling on the Senate to change the filibuster rule to get that legislation through. Not everyone in their party is on board, though. At least 3 senators, including both from Arizona, opposed the change. ABC 15's political reporter Mark Phillips with that part of the story.
Well, I think, bipartisanship is incredibly important.
This weekend, I want to try and look at different shots on different cameras, but I don't know, man.
To changing Senate rules on the filibuster.
I'm not going to make a decision based on what's in the best interest of the Democrats in Congress or in the Senate. I'll make a decision what's in the best interest of Arizona and the country.
The House passed the bills months ago on a party line vote. The filibuster is unique to the Senate. It allows the minority to kill legislation which fails to get 60 votes. Right now, the voting rights legislation is nowhere close to that number.
I'm not worried about the election
yeah, he will be
in
there.
November, how anything we do, we should disassociate those two things.
Senator Kelly appears to be following a path similar to Senator Kyrsten Sinema. Both support the voting rights legislation. They are co-sponsors of it. Sinema opposes getting rid of the 60-vote filibuster threshold. She has proposed publicly debating Senate rules so senators and Americans can consider the consequences of changing it. Kelly agrees.
It's always more important to get something right than to get it done.
15.
If there is a vote before next Tuesday,
He's been told.
Kelly and Sinema don't know what they'll be
Okay, if he doesn't make it,
on.
we'll make it a push.
There are lots of
there he
ideas
goes.
floating around the Senate to change the rules.
I was like, well,
but
we'll
no one
maneuver
has said
around him.
exactly
There you go.
how they'll do it. Mark
Stand by.
Phillips, ABC
Mix up in.
15, Arizona.
There is one law that could pass even without the filibuster.
Full
Republicans recently signaled interest in reforming HTE Electoral Count Act. That's an obscure 1887 law that allows members of Congress to intervene in disputed elections. Some on Capitol Hill say the January 6th attack happened because Congress has a role to play when results are in question. Reform could make the process less confusing and less political.
All right, you may be noticing political ads starting for the upcoming midterm elections. We have been getting many emails and many calls about some of the ads and the content within them.
So
we want to help you understand this. Why we air them. Simply put, we
We're gonna
are
have a bunch of
required
headlines
to.
next.
FCC rules require stations like ABC 15 to air ads for political candidates. The candidates are protected by the no censorship rule, which prevents stations from refusing to add to its content or change it in any way whatsoever. Our promise to you is to cut through all of that noise in the political ads, bringing you fact-driven coverage in all this, and helping you make informed and educated decisions.
All right, push.
Checking tonight's big headlines now. New developments after a standoff involving the state's former prison director.
Thank you.
Tempe police say Charles Ryan was having a mental health crisis when officers responded to his home late Thursday night. Police say Ryan barricaded himself in the house, at one point pointing a gun at officers. Ryan is still in the hospital with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to his hand.
Some new information in a Valley police officer's recovery from being shot 8 times on the job. Tyler Moldavon's wife calls it a miracle, saying Tyler's opening his eyes and recognizing those around him. Family says they're thankful for the outpouring of support and prayers from our community.
Former Arizona politician Paul Peterson will not have his prison sentence reduced. A judge denying Peterson's appeal to his 6-year sentence in Arkansas for an adoption fraud scheme. Peterson was convicted in 3 states for paying women to come to the U.S. and then giving up their babies for adoption.
Tracking tonight's headlines for you. Queen Creek Police now on the streets. The town just launched their own new department. They filled all but one of the 74 new positions. Queen Creek PD takes over after Maricopa County Sheriff's Department helped with law enforcement in that town for several years.
A potential step toward ending the MLB lockout. The League and Players Association will meet Thursday. It's the first negotiating session since the lockout began in December. Without a deal, spring training next month could be in jeopardy. Uplifting Arizona. Tonight, a one-stop shop full of life-changing support.
Yeah, the city of Tempe hosting a special event for those experiencing homelessness. Cameron Pullum takes us inside, meeting the volunteers who made it happen.
They arrived bright and early by the van load. Lines quickly forming at University Presbyterian Church in Tempe.
Thank you. 134 is next video.
Like Steven are getting
Amber is the last element of the teases coming up.
I'm glad to see that the community's coming and taking care of people again like that. It really is relief.
The former Marine, now homeless, says a lot of critical services disappeared during the pandemic. Here at Project Connect, more than 16 nonprofits are all in one place, offering a wide variety of help.
I've been on the street for quite a while now, and so far every stop has been beneficial.
The really special part of this event is all the services that they offer, from getting your ID or birth certificates, legal services. They've got clothing, food, anything and everything they may need.
Like the MVD and the other things that are hard for us to do because we're homeless and we don't have a dress, and these people are devoting their time to help us out. It means a lot to me.
You don't have to go looking around, Googling every resource and going all across the state.
Josh and his girlfriend Kayla are struggling as well.
Anybody who's my height, I always think they're
jobs
shorter
got scarce.
Josh lost his job in Oregon when they cut staff. He's working now, but doesn't make enough to afford housing at the moment, forced to live out of his car.
It's hard to get into a place, but all your money goes to just surviving.
But here, help is all around them, from medical checkups and mental health professionals to housing and job placement.
You have to first throw away pride. See, because I told you, brother, I've been where you at.
10 seconds.
See, but God helps those who help themselves.
And those that were brave enough to show up today certainly did just that. I'm Cameron Polam, ABC 15, Arizona.
Right now, food banks are in need of help. St. Mary's says they only have about half the volunteers they need. While the holidays may be some of their busiest times, the food bank is still distributing about 45,000 food boxes a month. Volunteer shifts are open Tuesday through Saturday. It's a 2-hour commitment, and you can sign up on firstfoodbank.org.
It's that time. Registration for Pat's Run is now open. If you sign up by the end of the day, the registration fee is $42. This is the 18th annual Pat's Run, celebrating the legacy of Pat Tillman and raising money for the Tillman Scholars Program. Funds from Pat's Run have supported 750 scholarships. By the way, race day is April 23rd.
Parents taking action, a new program empowering families to keep kids learning when they leave the classroom.
And taking stock, kind of low. Bring it up.
A record number of COVID-19 appointments. I'm Nicole Gregg, and we're taking you inside the Sonora Quest Labs for the first time as positivity rates here are climbing.
Off the field and inside the classroom, one player proving why he's the Cardinals nominee to be Walter Payton Man of the Year.
And
a star-studded lineup, a sneak peek at some of the unique cars hitting the Barrett-Jackson auction floor.
And we're wrapping up another day in the 70s, and we've got more ahead in your forecast. Also, still keeping an eye on some possible chances for rain and snow. We'll walk you through what we're tracking tonight, coming up in just minutes.
And taking. Joey, the Super for 139 said star-studded lineup.